All right, testing, testing, testing. Ah, look at you, you handsome fella. All right, testing, okay, let's have a look. If you can, thank you. Fantastic. Hello, Ken. G'day, Sirius. How you going? I've always been interested. How does this work? Let's see. Yeah, boom. Look at that. I'm just having a look at hang on, I better pause this because otherwise you'll get the audio. Hang on. Very good. Excellent. This is going to be a fun session today. Let's go here. I'm just opening it up on the phone so I can see the chat. Excellent. This is going to be there I am. No. Pause. There we are. Beautiful. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Well, welcome everybody today. This is going to be a really, really interesting session today. We are going to let's just review. Let's first of all, let's just look at where we are since the challenge has restarted. Let me remind you of what my goals were with the new challenge. The goal with the new challenge was the realization that, to be blunt, most people don't have the innate skills to create a business using all of the tools, techniques, and strategies that are available to them today. There's never been a better time to start a business. That's the reality. There's never been a better time. There's never been more access to tools, to techniques, to be able to reach your audience for little or no money. All of those things are, absolutely, I'm 100% convinced it's never been a better time to do so. However, what I've seen, and I've just got to look at the data and look at the results and look at the stats to realize that even though people are given step-by-step roadmaps to build a business and achieve them, they don't get it done. The vast majority of people do not get it done, despite what they intellectually say is their, I really want to do this, right? Intellectually, they're saying they really want to do this. Now, we explored early on in the challenge the multiple reasons why this is the case. And the reality is that unlike a lot of blueprints and a lot of social media and a lot of people who are doing this full time, you have commitments. The average challenger is somebody who has a job, has a complete, probably has kids, has commitments, has all sorts of things. They can't dedicate 100% of their life to building their business because they have obligations, they have challenges. And that's fine, right? That's cool, because there are plenty of people who have had those obligations, those challenges, and they have created a successful business, which has, freed them up from those obligations, given them the choice as to whether they need to do them or not, and give them the freedom, flexibility, and finances to be able to create a fantastic life. That's why the academy that I run is called Niche Style Academy. And it's the combination of two words: a niche you love, but there's no point working 80 hours a day in a niche you love, because it'll become a niche you hate very, very, very quickly. So these sorts of things are huge, right? That are a big deal. And what typically happens to somebody is, through the various mechanisms, and we did a fascinating ask survey early on where we looked at the text. We looked at the tech issues that people have, the fact that they don't have money, that actually the least amount of problem was time, but they didn't have the correct roadmaps, right? They were the four big reasons why that people thought they had a challenge. And then I explained to people that it was capacity that was actually the problem. That you literally, and the metaphor I like to use is, because I've got a daughter who's a very good violin player, but she's now a brilliant violin player. But let me tell you, when she first started out, it's screechy. And anybody who's been a parent of a child who's learning the violin, you know that they are going to be, it's a challenge. Let's put it that way. It's a pretty scratchy instrument. Unlike, instruments like the piano, which at least you can tap out in tune, the violin takes a while, right? So you can't do, you certainly can't go out and play a concert 1 month after you have picked up the violin. If you're lucky, you'll be able to do a very scratchy Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, all hesitant and all of those sorts of things. Yet, we think that because we're starting a business, that for some reason, that all the rules that apply to every other endeavor known to humankind, for some reason, this is different. This is somehow magical. That just because you get the right roadmap and just because you decide, you know what, I'm going to do this, you're going to build a business that is making you money inside a month. And the reality is, for some people, that is an absolute truth, right? They have built it, but they have practiced. They have the capacity. So very much a part of this new challenge was about building up capacity, showing you that there are drills and the ability to practice for business is what we did. We did things like looking at, collecting wow facts and all the reasons you would do that, writing out other people's headlines and all the reasons why you would do that. We looked just last week at sleep, which is a huge deal. If there's one factor that impacts on your ability to do a business, it's sleep. And actually, this is going to be really interesting when we get to the very exciting next stage of the challenge. Right. And most of you were on 6 and 7 hours on sleep, and you are just not operating at your best. Now, it was interesting, and again, mindset is such a huge deal as to why people aren't successful. In the Facebook group, and by the way, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, you should be, particularly very much so from next week because of the exciting next stage of what we're doing here at the challenge. So just go to Facebook and type in all new challenge and put in a membership request. You really should do that. And I noticed, just looking with the sleeping and looking at the sleep, people talked about it in terms of failure. Oh, I failed. I wasn't able to do it. That's not what I asked. I didn't say this wasn't an exam. This wasn't a test, right? It was, at best, it was an experiment to open your eyes to the fact that, wow, I've got some sleep issues. And if I've got sleep issues, if I have sleep issues, then that dramatically, far more than so many other things, impacts the amount of energy and the amount of willpower. The science is incontrovertible on this. And some of you, to great surprise, I'm looking at you, Kenneth Hamilton. I remember what you wrote last week when I set the challenge, and I'm so pleased that you went and did it, right? Because it was able, you were able to see that. And for some of you, it was just an eye-opener. It wasn't a pass or a fail. It was an eye-opener, right? Because here's the thing. If you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, that is an issue. That is a fundamental issue. If you remember the good old Maslow's triangle of needs that we all studied at high school, right at the bottom was food, shelter, sleep, right? If you don't have those things, you will fail to function as a human being. And if you don't have that fundamental foundation, how the hell do you even possibly hope to build a business? So what I'm hoping that you got out of the sleep exercise, and I was not joking when I said it was the toughest exercise and the toughest drill that I've set yet, because it's a fundamental, right? It's not exciting. It's not sexy. Well, actually, there are plenty of sleep courses now, as it happens. It's a big industry, right? But here's the thing, there are tools that are available to you. There's never been wider access to sleep clinics and strategies and techniques for getting better night's sleep. Many of you hadn't even considered the fact that, like for some people, for example, there was you had the ability to be able to, look at it and go, wow, I'm just not getting a night's sleep at all. And you realize that, well, hang on a second. When I look at all my day activities and when I look at everything, if I don't eat into that 8 hours, I simply don't have a time to do my business stuff. And guess what? That's not going to be effective either, right? That is not going to be effective either. And that is another key thing. All right. So they're all parts of that process. Okay. So what we've been doing over this first part of the challenge is showing you how you can use, you can go slow to go fast, do less to do more. For those of you who've been with us the whole way through the first part of this challenge, is you've been able to build an entire document. For most of you, the concept of building a well-edited, useful document was a bridge too far, right? Was something that was hard, but it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You haven't been taught the right ways to do it. School certainly doesn't teach you how to do an assignment or create a professionally written document or any of those sorts of things. There's no way that you know any of those things. It's not, like I say, it's not your fault. And I showed you techniques and tools where for people who thought they could never write a really cool document that people would like to give their emails for, in a million billion years, did they think to do such a thing? And yet you did. And that is a big, big deal. Okay, so that's what we have been doing. So in the first part of the challenge, it's just like, you're not going to go and run a marathon the day after you decide to run a marathon if you've never, ever run. If you try to do that, you'll at best get injured, at worst die. Your heart will explode. You need to build up that capacity and you need to get into that habit. And that's the other thing that we've been doing, is working every day on your project, even if it's 10 minutes or 25 minutes. Right? We've been doing that and getting into the habit of making some time available for our business. Because as much as we say, oh yeah, this is something we want to do, and this is something that is really, really important to us, our actions don't match our external or internal dialogue. And what I wanted to do was bring that to the forefront, right? Bring that to the, the state where it be what has been perhaps unconscious for you, just like your sleep habits. It's just something, it's a habit. It's right there in the word, right? If so many of our habits are unconscious, and when we shine a light on them, that's the first chance. Remember, acceptance is the first part of any addicts program, right? You've got to acknowledge that you have a problem before you can go about fixing it. And so that is really important. Okay, so that's the groundwork. That's where we are today, right? So now we're going to move to the very exciting next stage of this challenge. And for many of you, you have already started and gone down the path of, I sent out an email to let you know about a former challenger doing a very, very exciting project. And that is Russell Brunson, who is the founder and creator of ClickFunnels, an amazing business. That's the business. That's the the funnel and email providing service that I use for everything that I do. Everything that you see that I do is based on ClickFunnels. But that's not the thing, right? This is the thing. He posed a really interesting question, and that question is. If you were completely destroyed, no reputation, no money, no anything, what would you do in 30 days to recover your business and create a business? And he sent this out to a bunch of his most successful ClickFunnels partners, many of whom I know very well. And he got a bunch of responses, about 30 to be exact. And what he did was he decided that he would interview each of them, but far more importantly, he would create documented blow-by-blow plans of each of these 30 different people and how they would go about recovering their business. Well, not recovering business or starting from scratch. When your reputation's ruined, you've got debt collectors banging on your door, right? You've got nothing, right? You are at ground zero, no list, no anything. And so as soon as Russell and Dave Woodward reached out to me, because they know I know a thing or two about this whole challenge sort of thing, I thought, wow, this is fascinating. This is going to be something that, and so I asked them, hey, can we be part of this? Can we do something? Because the next part of the challenge is all about going, well, okay, in the old days of the challenge that you remember, we literally, the whole point of the challenge was to make $1 inside of 30 days. And it was an intensive process, right? Not many people passed, but those who did created some of them created $1 million businesses. It's amazing. Of the first 27 people who ever passed the challenge, to my knowledge, all 27 of them went on to make $1 million in their businesses, their respective businesses, every single one of them, which is phenomenal, right? And many of them, as so many of the successful people who are working today got their start in the challenge, which is wonderful. And that's hopefully why you're here as well. So as much as we work from, my goal, the reality of getting in a business, and something that I teach and drum into people at the Academy, is this concept of cadence. In other words, building up a day-to-day step, a day-to-day spread, right, of work. So if you can't get into the habit of working on your business, there's no way you're going to build one, right? It makes total sense. But that's not all, right? In the Academy, we have things called sprint months where we up the intensity. So if you look at a marathon, if you look at a bike ride, the end of a bike race where they've been, racing for over, 200 miles, and then there's a sprint to the finish, and there's a literal sprint to the finish. At NASCAR, it doesn't matter what it is, the intensity goes up enormously. I'll never forget when I was running my first ever 5K event, and I was knackered, right? I could see the finish line in the distance, and I thought, I'm going to make it, but I'm going to crawl over the line, right? And then this dude just jogging past me as nicely as you please, just jogged past me. Now, there were plenty of people jogging past me, that's the thing. But this dude was in a complete full-on pink bunny costume. He was running with a complete pink bunny costume. And I thought, there is no way I am going to get beaten in this 5 kilometers by a dude wearing a full-on pink bunny costume. Not going to happen. And all of a sudden, from nowhere, these energy reserves, and I started sprinting for that line to pass the pink bunny dude dress up, because I thought, how embarrassment. And I guess what? I did beat the pink bunny. So that was a little victory for me. But if you notice, right, these, like in marathons, they have a cadence, and they have this, steps that they do, and 180 beats per minute. Or bicycle riders have this, strict cadence. They stick, doesn't matter whether they're going uphill, downhill, or any which way, they have a strict cadence, except when they hit the sprint. And when they hit the sprint, right, all of that goes out the window, right? And they apply themselves to really making something happen. So I'd always intended to do a sprint with you guys. But with Russell's project coming out, it turned out to be the perfect possible time. So I'm very excited. Now, there'll be sorry, for those of you who are live, hopefully you got the email because you're here live. There's a link in the email that I sent out to you. If you're just watching the replay of this video or you're watching the live stream, once I put the replay up, there'll be a link in the description for you to click on so you can register for all this because it's absolutely free what you're getting. However, there is a little catch that I want to talk to you about. And it's not a catch. That sounds negative. It's not a catch at all. It's just there are two ways that you can do this process. Okay. So what's happening is from September 17th, which is not, well, for most of you, tomorrow, Monday, it's the following Monday. All right. The following Monday, each day for 30 days, they will be revealing a new method. Remember, for somebody whose reputation is cratered, it's in the rocks, it's destroyed, right? And it is, it's just totaled. Okay. You've got nothing, no list, no contacts, nothing. How do you build a business in 30 days? Now, you've got to remember, okay, I just want you to, before I even go further, I want you to think about the mindset of somebody like that. And you have to prepare yourselves because this is sprint mentality. This is not 10 minutes of calm work every day or 25 minutes of drills and exercises every day. This is DEFCON 1. This is, oh my goodness, I have to make something happen because my entire livelihood has been taken away by this mystical meteorite or whatever has happened, some traumatic event, which has meant that you've got nothing. You've got bills. You don't have cash. You've got debt collectors knocking on the door. Your reputation is in tatters. You've been bankrupt. You've been whatever, right? That's where we're starting from. Okay. That's where we're starting. So it requires a different sort of mentality. Okay. This is the thing. This is going to be intense, right? So from September 17, every single day, they will be delivering a new blueprint. Okay. A new blueprint. And it'll be available for 24 hours. And I completely get that. They want to make sure that you're serious, but understand that that's available for the 24 hours. Now, if you spend $100, okay, they will actually give you the availability of all the plans right now. So it's totally optional. And for the purposes of the challenge, it's totally optional. But as I'll show you in a minute, I'm going to show you some of these because I want you to see the quality of this because, if people were just tossing out, platitudes and, you got to suck it up and, sleep when you're dead and all this sort of stuff, I would have vomited and would have passed on the entire project. And you get an entire hard copy book with every single one of these blueprints. Plus, from October 15, coincidentally, remember that date because that's going to be real important very, very soon. For that 30 days, they will coach you through one of those plans. So here you go, right? So if we look at all of these things, all right, let's look at all of these things. From September 17th, each day for 30 days, for 24 hours only, they will have an interview from the blueprint creator and they will show you all of that. And then it will go away. And then the following day will be the next blueprint. It'll be available for 24 hours, so it doesn't matter where you are in your time zone. So if you choose not to spend any money, cool, right? You'll have to be on your toes, right, for that. Then come October 15. Hey, Google, what day is October 15?
The 15th of October 2018 falls on a Monday.
There we go. So on Monday, October 15th, they will actually kick off a 30-day period of intensity, or as we would describe it, and as the Agile community would describe it, a sprint, right? So this is an old school type challenge, right? So it's 30 days of hardcore, right? So you are really upping the pace and the intensity. So here's the cool part. Okay, here's the really interesting part. You're going to watch and look at and review all of these challenges. Then guess what? You're going to vote. I am throwing myself at your mercy. You are going to vote on the challenges, right? And the one that gets the most votes, I will be streaming live for 30 days. Yes, you heard that right. I will be streaming live for 30 days. The plan that you voted for, not one that I chose, because let's face it, I'll choose the one that's easiest for me, right? I want to make this really, really exciting, right? So you, the challenge community, will be voting on each of these blueprints. And then I will take the top voted one, and for the next 30 days, I will live stream me doing that challenge. All right. So for the 30 days of this training, and by the way, I have signed up. I've literally paid $100 and I've signed up because the ClickFunnels team will be having daily coaching as well during that 30 days from October 15. They'll have coach for $100. Are you kidding? I'm going to take a piece of that action. Plus, I've got the book of all the blueprints, right? I've got and I thought, the blueprints, are they cool or not? Well, guess what? I'm about to show you what these blueprints look like. How cool is that, right? So sneak preview. I asked Dave if I could do this and let you see, right, what the quality of this stuff is. Like, it's blown me away that it's the quality. All right, so let's drop in. Let's know in the chat. Let me know, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about this? What's your insight from what I've discussed so far? And if you're watching the replay, I'd love to know, do you think you could put together a 30-day streak of intensity to build a business from scratch, particularly with what you've learned with the challenge? Right, so this is going to be an extremely powerful event. Okay, great. I'm noticing some people have already got in, which is great. It's incredibly valuable. So this is very good. Bob, have you been listening to what I've been saying? Yes. So let's be very specific. Let's repeat. Just before I show you the quality of this stuff, I want to be very specific about what we're going to be doing. So guess what the drill for this week is? You've got the week off. No drills. No drills this week. Complete and utter rest. I want you to do anything other than think about your business this week. All right. Now, if you want to do all of the, if you want to do drills, or you want to refine your document, which is going to be really important, then great, go for it. But I want you to have the week off because we're going to deal with quite an intensive phase. If you choose the free route, then which is totally cool, then each day, starting from September 17th, you'll see a new 30-day blueprint. And here's what I will be doing is each day I will be giving you my feedback, and I'll be giving you like my director's commentary on each day as it goes through. And we'll be doing this in the Facebook group. And what you'll be doing is each day we'll publish a review, just like we've been doing. And I want to get your feedback. How realistic do you think this particular blueprint is? What are the positives? What are the minuses? What are the things you didn't understand? So we will have an entire each like community discussion amongst challengers of each of these blueprints as they are published. I'll do a little video stream, a live stream each day for each of the things, and then I want to get your feedback. I want to get your opinions on all of this, and then in the couple of days leading up to October 15, guess what? There's going to be a vote. Okay, so there's going to be a vote, and you will be voting on which of these blueprints I will be doing live from 30 days. It's go hard or go home. And make no mistake, this is a complete switch up in terms of the intensity of the challenge. It's fine to work hard. I've never said working hard is bad, but I think you have to plan for it. So I'm giving you if you choose, and you should, to do this along with me, then you've got an entire month to get your affairs in order, because this is intense, right? These people have lost their reputation. They have lost their list. People are asking, oh, well, do I have to buy ClickFunnels? I have no clue. But what I do know is that they are showing you how to make the money to do anything that you need to do by doing things. It's going to be extreme, as you will just, I'm going to show you how extreme this is going to be. But these people are desperate. They're desperate to get their business going in 30 days. So when you're desperate, you do things that are really, really important. So, if you're pretty comfortable and all this stuff is a bit of a hobby for you, you probably want to step off the challenge at this point. This is the realistic thing, because you're going to get 30 days of prep followed by 30 days of intensity with the challenge like you haven't believed. And the really exciting difference of what I'm really excited about is I will be literally live streaming my work. So if it takes 2 hours, it'll take 2 hours. If it takes, heaven forbid, 8 hours, I don't remember the last time I've worked 8 hours, but I will be working 8 hours based on whatever the intensity is required, right? Because this is the thing. Are you serious or not? So by November 15, if we look out, you can do and have an entire business. It's just like the old school challenge, right? But what's so awesome, and thank you, Russell, for doing all this work, you will have 30 different plans to vote on, 30 of them, of which I will do one of them, okay, which you will vote on. I will have no say, right? I'm terrified because some of the stuff, frankly, not that excited by. Not because they're not good plans, but because, for example, physical products. I hate selling physical products. I don't have my Colby is the complete opposite of a requirement for somebody who needs to be organized in selling physical products. But there are all these sorts of things. All right, let's go. Let me show you, and thank you, Rusty, for letting me do this, let me show you behind the scenes. So you are getting a sneak peek. For those of you who haven't actually paid the $100, you haven't seen what I'm about to show you. And maybe it'll convince you to actually sign up for that, because I think it's a pretty bloody good deal for just this alone. But let's have a look. And so let you be the judge of that. Okay, you be the judge. So let's have a look. Let's bring up my Zoom here. Come on, little buddy. There we are. Okay, so let's get our share screen happening. Okay, let's share that. Let's bring that up there like so. Let's hit that. Let's tap that. Let's pop that up. Let's click that. And if you could just let me know in the chat if you can see that new screen. Okay, if you pay your $100, you get access to all of the plans right now, today. How sweet is that? Fantastic. You can all see it. So you can see here on this left-hand side on the iPad, I can't wait to see Liz's. My goodness. Okay, so we've got all of these people. Wow, Garrett White has built a $1 million business with his stuff. We've got all of these people, and you'll notice there is an interview, right? So there's an interview with each of these people. So there's like a 20-minute intervio. Let me just pause that, otherwise that'll keep playing. The Dream 100 method, which some of you will be familiar with. Right, this is all part of the 30 days. So you've got actual video of the person showing behind the scenes how they would do it, right? So you've got like a 30-minute video. I think the summit interview, hang on, is that paused? Yes, it's paused. The summit interview are things which are, I think that's a bonus that you get if with the paid version as well. So you see that. But as you can see, now the most important, boom, let's download this plan. Right. The work that's gone into, and by the way, you get if you pay the $100, you get the hard copy of all of this, right? So, oops. So here we are, Trey, day 1 to day 30 to save yourself. And that's what these all are. The Reactive Startup by Trey. There's Trey. Like I say, he's into physical products, right? Good dude, Trey. So what you're about to read is not a theory, but actually a proven working strategy. Look at the quality of this, right? Now, I'm going to read out this day one because I want you to understand what we're getting into here. This is different. This is not playtime. This is not drills. People can go to the gym just to stay a little bit fit and all these sort of things, right? You have got to understand that if you are going to undertake this next part of the challenge, it is game time. That's why you've got 30 days to get your house in order, because this is if you guys voted for me to do this particular plan, look what I'd be doing first. It's time to get work. I have a long day ahead of me. I will create a morning routine to follow over the next 30 days so I can be alert. Active and reactive. Yes, this means waking up earlier than most of the people in the world and also going to bed before most of the people in the world. Night prior to day 1, I'll be in bed at 9 p.m. with the alarm set to 4:15 a.m. My morning routine will be as follows. 4:15, wake up, take shower. 4:30, make coffee, eat a biscotti. I'm on board so far. Listen to Tony Robbins, Personal Power 2. Fascinating, actually. Interesting that he mentions that, because I remember when I was first starting many, many decades ago, that was quite amazing. Read a motivational book for half an hour. Hit the elliptical. Oh, geez. From 6 to 6:40 a.m. 7 a.m. ready to start the day. But this is what we're talking, and this is what you'll find fascinating, because, as I say, I've had the chance to sneak preview all of these. So much of what people will tell you in your recovery of your business is about how you set your day up. It's all about, guess what? Energy, rest, recovery, right? Focus, all of these different things. Now, get this, right? If you thought that was wild, here's the next one. Today, I'll be calling my bank to let them know I've lost all my credit cards and will need replacements. He hasn't lost his credit cards, but here's why he's doing it. Doing so will allow any and all recurring monthly transactions, gym membership, magazine subscriptions, Netflix, newspapers, car wash to be automatically cancelled. For the bills that are received via direct mail, such as utilities, cell phone, mortgage, and electric, I'll be calling to negotiate a lower rate or a lower percentage or some sort of payback schedule. Remember, he's been wiped out. I will be putting my car on Craigslist for sale and purchasing a car with the profit from the sale. No loan. Day 1 is about downsizing and getting rid of anything unnecessary. Hardcore. Right, but here's the deal. Do you get this? If you are truly 100% in and committed, that's the type of thing that these people do. And what I've been trying to do, because I realized that day 1, that for me, I can do, right? If I had to do that, I would do that, right? In fact, I have. I've recovered from bankruptcy. I've recovered from these things. I know what it's like. Right. But I had the miles. I had the experience. I had the time on the clock, right, to do such a thing. And so every day, and look at this, page 4, right? Every day, look at this. This is not a joke. Day 10, creating a funnel, right? There's pages and pages. There's 23 pages of all of this, including a list, and each one of them's got a list of resources that you can find. And by the way, I don't have any money. Secrets of Power Negotiating. Guess what? You go to the library. Did you know that every library, certainly in Australia and the United States and the United Kingdom, has electronic book borrowing now? So you can pretty much borrow any book that's available electronically immediately, right? Or get them to order the book in for you, right? There's always a way. Are you smelling what The Rock is cooking here? And do you understand why I want you to have a relatively light month of inspiration by watching these? There's literally half an hour a day, right? So you'll spend 30 minutes a day watching the video and seeing that. But you won't be, don't confuse this with work. Yes, Amelia, nice, fantastic reference there, Rich. I love that. You're pulling it from the deep zone. Right, let's have a look. Where's Liz, my favorite New Zealander? Don't tell her I said that. She is fantastic. Now she's doing a coaching program. I'm more happy with that than products, but hey, you can see the difference, right? So let's have a look. There is plans. And so each one of these, and by the way, all of this is available, right? If you are, if you do the paid $100 version, and there's, like I said, there'll be a link that you can use in the link, and I've emailed you the link and I'll email it out again. But again, look at all of these, this is hardcore, right? These are not, what's Liz doing in her first? See, I love this. Day 1, decision day. It's a decision day, first and foremost. No BS. Today is the day I'm working out exactly what I'm going to do to pull myself out of this hole. I need to know where I'm going. So day 1 is all about gathering up my internal resources, mapping out a plan, looking after myself. Notice the first point of, and I've only looked at 2 so far, right? The first point of Trey's and the first point of Liz, looking after yourself is how many times do you have a well-being, and well, not now, but in the past, have I ever included a well-being aspect to any part of a course that I've got you to do? No. And yet that's the really important part. There are people I owe money to who will likely come at me if I don't communicate. Fair enough. With that said, I can make the money more easily if I'm in flow. So smart. So as a first priority, I need to call them really quickly to let them know I intend to pay them, that I'm in a squeeze financially, and that I need a little grace period so that I can pay themselves. Right? So do you see where these things are starting from? They're not starting from, everybody's happy, everybody's cool. I've got a few $1,000s on my credit card that I can use to invest in this business. This is from absolute ground zero. Right? Literally ground zero. Right? So look at this. And look at this. I've already seen so many people fail already with half-hearted efforts. So I'll take myself into my kapow cave to create the time and space to emotionally get ready for this. Her thing is all about kapow. And she's fantastic. She's a great person. But what's a kapow cave? Have we talked about environment on the challenge? Have we talked about what's something that I drill into my academy students? Is environment. You have to have the correct environment. You have to have a special space for where you build your challenge project, right? And she calls it the kapow cave, which I love. Yeah, you can't quite see it. It's just like but I've got all of Liz's kapow stickers on my office whiteboard planning board here. You can see her kapow stickers up there. I love them. They're fantastic. So, look at this. Isn't this great? Right? This is really cool stuff. And my goodness, I can't wait to see like what Rob Cosberg, for example, does amazing things with webinars and all sorts of things. And they're, like I said, they're all there, right? Rob's extremely successful, particularly in he and his offsite at Kevin Hutto, right? High ticket sales via webinars. Okay, so what will Rob be doing? By the way, we're 389 pages into the book. This is the real deal, right? This is not transcribes. This is not things. Day one, today is a day of reflection and meditation and a focus on quiet determination. I want to consider what went wrong previously and what I can learn from both what I did right and wrong. To do this, I will journal and seek out input from friends and mentors. I will not allow myself to become discouraged, but rather will focus on gratitude. All progress begins first with honesty, but must also contain encouragement, appreciation of what I have. I still have the most important things, my skills and perseverance. Every single day, I will start with a strong morning routine. Are you starting to smell what the rock is cooking here? Right? This is not some half-baked project that Russell, Dave, and team have put together. This is the real deal. I'm so excited because I don't have to do this. Right? This is fabulous. So I will be utilized. Like I said, we'll go through during the month of September, month of October. Each day we'll be going through each of these, and each day I will be posting a thoughts and reviews of each plan, right, in our Facebook group, All New Challenge. Then at the end of this process, you will vote. You will vote, and you will vote on the plan that you want to see me come October 15 to do the 30 days. And I will live stream everything. All right. So you will literally see. So this is great. You know, if I had the technology to do this in the first challenge, I would have done it. But streaming didn't exist back then. It would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it instead of just turning on your mobile phone. Right. So this is what we'll be doing. I hope you're excited about this. I really do. Smash that like button if you're excited. Hit subscribe so you can see the daily updates. And please let others know about this. Share this video and let's get people excited, because you noticed, Rob, who's one of the smartest people I've said, is reaching out to colleagues is going to be a key part of this process. And we've got this amazing group of people here in the challenge. And I want so many of you, I want us to be the biggest posse of people that just totally dominate this challenge. And what you'll notice is, okay, let's be cynical for a second. Let's be cynical. Oh, what is this? Is this just Russell and Dave coming up with a way to promote ClickFunnels? Well, yes. I mean, there's ClickFunnels branding everywhere, but it's not like your first day is plonk down your $250 for ClickFunnels, or indeed my $15 special offer, which I'll reveal to you at the appropriate time. Oh, what? $15 a month? Well, funny you should mention that. Stay tuned. But here's the deal. Right? They're starting from scratch. They're starting from ground zero. They have no money. So if they need to get ClickFunnels, we're going to have to figure out a way to earn that, because they're in debt. You heard Liz's first day is ringing everybody who's accredited us saying, look, I need some breathing space. And she's so right, because if you've got people calling you up, you are not going to be able to get inflow for creating your business. Same with Trey. Look at what Trey's first part of this was all about. Hopefully you can see why this is so exciting and why I'm really excited to do that. So guess what? Good news, you've got a week off. I'll be letting you know during the week. If you can, if you've got the $100 spare, I would really suggest you. This is a great investment. I've shown you on this video the quality of these plans. They're not just thrown together, single page little checklist. Each one is a legit plan, right? Written in that person's voice. And there are all sorts of people, from webinars to e-commerce to coaching to there's all sorts of blueprints there that we can follow. And then, I've had to do it. on sadly more than one occasion, Bob, of calling creditors. And most people realize either A, they've been in that situation themselves, or B, they realize they've got a lot better hope of getting their money if you're giving them some breathing space, right? So, and banks and credit card people who pursue you for credit cards, they're in the same boat. They know that they've got better chances if they can. There's ways of doing this and talking to people and getting help, and that is a big part of it. So there we have it. So you now have a preview of actually the next 60 days of what we're going to be doing around the challenge. You've got a week off. Rest, recuperate, maybe work on your doc if you want. Sign up and get your make sure you signed up for the 30 days. And then from next week, we will be spending 30 days evaluating all of these different blueprints. Then at the end of that time, you'll be voting on which one I will be doing, right? I don't get to choose, right? You choose for me. And I will be then live streaming that from October 15 during that next 30 days. If you are smart, you will either pick your own blueprint or just follow along and do the blueprint that I am doing, right? That would be super duper smart. I am going to, I've signed up for the coaching as well because I can use the benefit of that as well. So, I've got 30 days of Russell's team going through each of this, and I'll be there for you as well. And yeah, Debbie's saying, are these blueprints something that novices can do? Absolutely. You're ground zero. But what's interesting, and I've already seen some feedback, is there are some terms and there are some things where there's always, when people are writing things, there's always such a thing as assumed knowledge. Here's the cool thing, right? If you review these on the daily basis, like I'm suggesting from September 17, then we'll note the stuff that is assumed knowledge. And you might say, hey, what's this blah, blah? What's that? And guess what? You've got an entire group of people, right, sitting there in the challenge group to help explain to you, well, that's all about this. That's what all of this is, right? So we'll be doing that. We'll be looking and we'll be breaking down each of these plans each day. Now, be very clear. I will not be saving the plans. I will not be publishing the plans. These are Russell's and Dave's, okay? So, if download them yourselves and copy. If they're available on the day, then you go there. That's part of your commitment. Is if you're going to do this for free, you need to go there on a daily basis and do that. There's no way and don't even think about emailing me or asking me to do so. I won't publish. I won't show the plans, right? If you're going to watch this stuff, you need to watch it on a daily basis. Or alternatively, do what I've done, if you can, and pay up the $100. So you've got access to all of the plans literally right now. Okay, so that is another way to go. But I just wanted to be super duper clear on this. But this is, there was always there's always a moment in any endeavor where you have to take the race, right? You have to, you can train for the marathon, but you actually have to run for the marathon, right? There's no point training for the 5 kilometer and then not doing the 5 kilometer race. Right. So from October 15 through to November 15, I suppose, it will be the race. We will be in the race every single day. And if you choose to participate in the race, you may well, 45 days out from Christmas, have a complete functioning business. And that's pretty exciting. And you will have watched me build one, right, as well. So, so I hope you do more than watch. Marsha's saying, it seems that all of these people aren't really starting from zero. They have previous knowledge to draw on. Well, they're not zombies, but as we proved, Marsha, you've all got stacks of knowledge. You've all been teetering around the edges of this information marketing and this build your business stuff for years. Some of you have been doing challenges for years. You've got an enormous amount of knowledge. Didn't we prove that? Didn't we prove that only 2 weeks ago when all of a sudden you wrote this document in a market that was for you just a fun hobby market and you created an entire document that would help people solve the number one pain in that market. Gary, there you go. I have asked it. Free writing has proven it. And if you haven't done those parts of the challenge, well, that sucks to be you. You know, I'm not doing this for fun. I'm not doing this for, ego purposes. There's plenty of other stuff I could be doing for ego purposes. If I wanted to really, pump myself up, plenty of other things I could be doing. But this is about if you want to get real, if you want to get serious. Go back and review the very first video of the challenge, the intro to the challenge, and why I'm doing this. If you want to, say, oh, they all know stuff that I don't know. Oh, I can't build a business. Well, guess what? You're not going to build a business. Go away. Do something else. Watch Housewives of Atlanta. But don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself that you are somehow going to make a business if you are not going to, as they would say, crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Right? Shit or get off the pot, people. It is up to you right now. Right? For this next week, you don't have to do a thing. Right? And then come from next week, all you have to do is the most easy thing you can ever do is watch a video and then type up an analysis of that video. Why am I getting you to type up an analysis of that video and put it in the Facebook group? Because we already proven that if you do active studying, you actually embed all of this content right away. And that is the key. Right? This is game time. We've been practicing. At some point, you have to have a race. And I get it. I get the vast majority of you won't do it. It's okay. I don't care. All right. That's fine. I'll still do what I'm doing. But, make a decision. Make a call. Are you serious about that? I'm giving you notice. I'm giving you literally 5 weeks notice to get your affairs in order. Right? You're actually going to absorb an enormous amount of knowledge. If you do it the way I am showing it, you're going to get, right, an incredible amount of knowledge over that period of time. You're going to see me doing it. Right? You're going to see me doing it. All right? But make no mistake. The intensity level goes way, way up. All right. And that's life, right? When you run a launch or you launch a new product or you do, right, things get intense for a while. And that is exactly what we're going to do. So I hope you join me. This is going to be an incredible 60 days. I want to thank Russell, Dave, and the team for creating what to me is a super exciting thing. And I am going to totally help off the back of this and getting things off track and getting them going. How many days are we talking about here, Susan? I have no idea. Well, in Trey's first one, how long is it going to take me to cancel my credit cards, sell my car, launch it on Craigslist? Probably take 3-4 hours, I suppose. Yeah, so I imagine that one would be 3 or 4 hours. I don't know. It's going to take as long as it takes. Yeah, that's the thing. Right? When you're training, you can control how many hours something takes. When you're in the game, the length of the game, 30 days. Right? But what happens inside the game, you have no idea. I have no idea. I know that there's 30 24-hour periods, and each of these is a plan. So we'll have a look. I don't know. What's Ping? Let's have a look at Ping's plan. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't even seen Ping's plan before. What would he do? Live events. Wow. Time to strategize and get to work. Objective today is get clarity on my goals and what's needed to happen. $150,000 in some. Okay, assumptions. He's got $500 in cash, a credit card limit of $5,000, and the ability to work 8 hours a day. Now, those assumptions would be okay for me, but for some of you would not be okay. So guess what? Here's a flash. Don't do this plan. Very simple. But isn't that cool? I'm fascinated to have a look at what he's going to do there. Very cool. So I don't know. Natalie, what's Natalie doing? Correct. You're absolutely right, Gravel Belly. I'm just going to do what they say. Good. Here's a good old challenge, an ebook launch. So here we go. We've got whiteboards. We've got, we'll have a look. Day one seemed relatively easy for most people. So that's cool. Well, easy, in inverted commas. We will see. All right, there we go. So I hope you join me in this 30 days. I'm excited. Again, just to finish off, I'll just do this one more time, just so you know. This week off. You have a week off, right? Rest, recuperate, recharge. Come September 17, as each of these plans is launched and rolled out one per day, I will be offering a daily analysis of each one. And I want you to watch the accompanying video, read the accompanying plan, and I want you to put your insights in it, right? What don't you understand? What do you understand? What seems too hard? What does it seem realistic? All those sorts of things. And we discuss those, and we do that every day. Then come October 15, Monday, October 15, for 30 days, actually before that, a couple of days before, I will put up a poll. And based on that poll, I will be doing live streaming the 30 days. All right. So that is and I will be doing the one based on your votes. So I could do, for example, if you all wanted to vote for Peng, then I could do that because I can work 8 hours a day. But I would be probably looking for blueprints personally. If I was voting on getting somebody to watch, I'd be looking for one that maybe, there could be 3-4 hours a day. I mean, this is sacrifice. This is, this is hardcore. So whatever it is, whatever you vote for, I will do. So that's what's going on. With that, thanks, everybody. Again, the links for all of this are either I emailed them to you if you're on the email list. If you're on the Facebook Messenger list, I sent the links via Facebook Messenger to you. And if you're watching the replay, the link to join all of this to make sure you're registered is down below here in the video. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, get as many people involved. This is an extraordinary opportunity for you. It's going to get intense, folks, but it's going to be fun. With that, speak to you all soon. Let's do this thing. Ciao for now. Oh, and by the way, sorry, one last thing. If you've got any questions about the whole thing, pop them in the Facebook group. That's what it's there for. If you've got questions about logistics and all these sorts of things, let us know, right? It's going to be great. That's what the group's for. Ciao for now. Speak soon. Oh, and I keep for one thing, if you have bought the 30 days, please keep it to yourself. You're not doing anybody any favors by sharing PDFs or doing any of that stuff. Please. If a person who has no money does not want to log on each day so they can grab the report themselves, they're not going to do the 30-day challenge. So don't do that. All right. Because if you have no money, then what you have is you have to invest time. So logging on to get the content each day, that's the least that you should be doing. And it's good training for you for when we go intense on October 15. All right. With that, really looking forward to all of this. And I will ban you from the group. If I see anybody sharing a link or a PDF in the group, you'll be instantaneously banned. All right. Right. Russell has put an extraordinary amount of work into this. So either turn up or pay the $100, and then you'll have access to everything. I can't wait to get this book. The book is going to be so awesome. So with that, ciao for now.